Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. I came across a really interesting Bigfoot story that happened back in June of 1991, and it makes me think how people end up in these situations where they're in the right place at the right time and end up having a Sasquatch experience. It always seems so random, and I don't know, it just can't be a coincidence, can it? That people just end up having these crazy experiences right where they maybe park their car or whatever. They end up just being right in the right spot to have this experience. I think it's weird. But anyways, this happened in California. It's 1991. The nearest town I think was a place called French Gulch. I don't even know if it's a town or just an area. But anyways, this guy, he was an army veteran, and he was taking his son up these mountain roads to show him where his dad used to take him back when he was a kid. And they would go up there and pick pine cones and pine cone nuts and whatever. And he wanted to take his son up to this place to show him where he used to go as a kid, and they were also going to grab some pine cones for Christmas decorating. And apparently it was quite the drive, like hours up these windy roads up in the mountains. And it's dark, it's night, I think he said it was 2 in the morning or something. It was late at night. I can't remember the exact time. But he had a pickup truck, and they're driving up these roads, and they don't get to the spot where he actually thinks he used to go as a kid. He didn't really remember exactly where the spot was. But they come to a spot on the road where there's lots of pine cones around, so he's like, oh, we could stop here and I can pick up some pine cones. The kid ends up falling asleep because it's so late. He's sleeping in the truck. And when they get to this spot, the guy turns the truck around to make it easier to load these pine cones into the back. He gets out, he lowers the tailgate, and he starts putting these pine cones in the back of his truck, these big pine cones. And apparently, while he's doing this, he hears a loud vocalization, something coming from behind him, the ridge behind him. And it sounded like nothing else he's heard before. And that's, a typical characteristic of Sasquatch encounters, as we know, hearing strange vocalizations that don't seem to come from any known animal. So he hears this vocalization, and then not long after, he hears something running towards the truck from the same direction, basically. And he said it sounded like these loud thumps that it was as if it was something on 2 feet. And I don't know, for me, like, I've had an experience where I've heard something running towards me in the darkness that sounded like something on 2 feet, and it's like a very distinct sound. You can tell if something is on 2 feet or if it's like a quadruped. You can just tell. I mean, as human beings, we live our whole lives used to the sounds of other people walking around, so we know what that sounds like. But anyways, he hears this thing running towards him, and that, in conjunction with the strange vocalization, just sent total, like, a sense of total fear throughout his body. So he runs back he closes the tailgate and runs back to get into the truck, and he gets in the truck to start it up. And when he gets it started, he looks in the rearview mirror, and in the dim taillights and with the moonlight, he was able to see the faint shape of an upright, man-like figure standing behind the truck, covered in hair. I mean, he couldn't see very many details because it was nighttime, and it was just the faint light of the taillights and the light of the moon and the stars. And this thing is just standing there, and it's just... He takes off, and he's so scared that he almost drives the truck off the road. And the kid wakes up, and he's like telling him to like watch where he's going, because I think there was like a log or something on the road that he almost hit, and he swerved and almost went right off the road. But anyways, it seems weird to me that people will just randomly decide to stop right in the vicinity of where one of these creatures is, these Sasquatch creatures. Is it just coincidence? Or is it something else? Is the experience brought on by something else? Like, what determines it? I don't know. I think it's weird. This happens so many times. People will find themselves down a road somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and they'll just end up in the right place at the right time, and they'll have an experience. And the experiences are all so similar. They're very similar to this. They'll hear a vocalization, they'll hear something running towards them, or maybe they'll have rocks thrown at them or sticks or something like that. And a lot of the time they feel that intense sense of fear. And I don't know, I've seen a lot of interesting, weird things in my explorations. I've seen a lot of strange phenomena, seen a lot of UFO activity and things of that nature, and none of that scares me, really. Like, seeing a UFO in the sky is, for me, fascinating. It's not scary, but when I imagine running into a Sasquatch, that's something that I know, if it was going to happen, I would be like freaked out more than anything. And I don't know exactly why that is. I think it's maybe because a lot of the stories are of people getting like, not attacked necessarily, and sometimes people get attacked in the older stories, but who knows if those are true or not. But these things do seem to like to scare people sometimes, and I don't know why they would do that. I don't think they're a flesh and blood thing, and that's why I'm kind of thinking it's not a coincidence that people just run into them during these times. Like, people spend their whole lives trying to find these things, and then these experiences just happen to people who are alone at night driving down these roads, and they stop and boom. It's like, that's very lucky, I think it has something to do with consciousness and the experiencer themselves, whether it's a conscious thing or a subconscious thing, and maybe them just being ready to have an experience, and an experience just manifests in some way. Who knows what causes it? But to me, it just seems weird that they just happen to line up and encounter each other in the same spot in the middle of nowhere. I mean, anything can happen, but I think there's more to it. I just know, like, when I get in my tent at night and I hear little noises, it's freaky. It's especially when you're alone, because you do hear the stories about people getting taken. There's all these crazy stories of missing people, and what is a human being gonna do against something that's 9 feet tall and just totally like muscled up? What are you gonna do against it? A lot of the stories are very similar, but some of them are really crazy, and they could be unpredictable. Who knows what they're up to, and when they manifest in this reality, what the purpose is. My theory right now is that it's probably to stimulate some sort of conscious awakening or spiritual awakening of some kind, to just open the mind up to the possibilities of what's out there in the universe. Because this experience, like, after the experience happened, he spent his whole life being interested in the subject of Bigfoot, which can lead you in a whole bunch of other directions. You start exploring other strange paranormal things, which can lead you to, explorations of consciousness and all of that. But yeah, I just thought it was a very fascinating encounter, and it happened near Mount Shasta. This French Gulch place is south of Mount Shasta, and that whole area is known for really weird things happening. People see a lot of strange things around there, a lot of UFO activity. And there's a lot of strange people who go to that area as well, and who knows what kind of things they're doing, what kind of like psychedelics and stuff they're doing. But yeah, I'm sure people see a lot of weird things around there. So who knows? Just a really cool encounter that happened. I'm sure they weren't expecting anything like that to happen during their father and son trip, their little road trip. I hope it was worth the Christmas decorations, the pine cones for their tree. Yeah, I just know if I was in that situation, that would freak me out. I would probably never return. I don't know if I'm ready to see one of these things. I honestly don't. I can handle the UFO stuff, but the Bigfoot stuff, I do not know. I'm out here trying to have an experience, trying to elicit some sort of wild man experience. I had a Bigfoot dream the other night. And believe it or not, I rarely have Bigfoot dreams. Like, rarely. I can count the amount of Bigfoot dreams I've had on one hand. And with most of those dreams, for some reason, they've all been like very scary dreams. Like aggressive Sasquatch, like attacking and throwing rocks and stuff. I don't know why. In my dreams, they're these terrifying creatures. So if I have an experience that manifests in real life, I hope it's not as it is in my dreams. I mean, I'm trying to align with the wild man archetype out here. And the other night I'm starting to have Bigfoot dreams, so we might be getting close. I don't know. I just wanted to say also, I'm uploading from the field. I'm making videos from the field, so I know the quality, the video and sound quality in my videos lately hasn't been great. It's because I'm uploading with like data, so I have to compress these videos and the signal isn't very good, so I have to make the file size small. So bear with me for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Mountain Beast Mysteries.